Hey warrior, welcome to today's video. We're gonna get right into our topic today, which is how to stop acting on emotional and binge urges. Yesterday we talked about stopping reacting to binge urges, and that is a huge key. We know that the urge is happening. We're aware, okay, we're having an urge. It feels uncomfortable. We're not ignoring it. We're not pretending it's not happening, but we are also not going to indulge it. And we're certainly practicing not acting on it. This is important because it changes the pattern of the reward system in our brain, and it literally starts to erase the habit. Now, this might be a deeply grooved, ingrained habit, and so that is going to take a lot of smoothing over to erase that habit completely. But listen, every single opportunity you have an urge is an opportunity to work at it and to break this habit. So we're not acting on it and we're not ignoring it. We know, I think you remember from the other video, we're not going to indulge that child that is having a temper tantrum because it wants his candy bar and he is just kicking and screaming, and we know it's happening. But we're still gonna go about our day and do our errands and go to work and do the things that we said we were gonna do, even though this uncomfortable urge, this little tantrum is happening inside of our bodies. It's possible, you guys. There's nothing specific that you need to do to not act on the urge, but I encourage you to work on things that is going to work best for you and discover what that is when an urge is present. So we've spoken a lot about this, but breathwork technique is super important because it helps us lengthen the pause, it helps us get out of our head and get into our body. So pick an activity. I would create a list. Step 1, create a list of different activities that you may help yourself to calm, to ground, to reassure yourself that, yes, I'm uncomfortable, but I can get through this. I think deep breathing is great. I think getting outside in the fresh air is great. I think dancing is great. Any type of movement is great because you're going to have to redirect your thoughts into your movement and your body. I would do something that's upbeat. I think music is great because it literally changes the vibration of us, of inside of ourselves. So pick an activity, come up with a list, and start experimenting. Continue to go about your day as if you're not experiencing the urge. Just because you have an urge, it's not necessarily a day disruptor or interrupter. You're still gonna get up, brush your teeth, make your coffee, go to work, do what you have to do, take the kids to school, pick them up, make dinner, have conversations with people. You're still going to do your life. So I know it's hard, I know it's challenging, but you can still go about your day as if you weren't having that urge. It may accompany you for a little bit, but it is not running the show. You can also pause and just sit and lie still and just observe this with just completely detachment. So we are observing that child having that temper tantrum and just looking at it, like not judging ourselves, not getting pulled into it, but just noticing like what flares it up and what calms it down and what it sounds like and what it feels like. And we're just totally in observation mode. I think I mentioned this, which is why meditation is such a great tool in helping us learn about that monkey mind, that binge urge, because we can sit and observe and just know that we're just watching it pass by and we're not inside of it. We're not sucked into the experience of it. We are on the outside looking in. I would also advise you to check in with yourself throughout the time you're having the urge, throughout the day, little checkpoints with yourself. You can even set alarms in your phone to check in with yourself and just see how you're doing. See what the urge is like, what level is it. If you are using emotional freedom technique tapping, you can assess what level of intensity this binge urge is at. If it's a level 10, very intense. If it has calmed down a little bit, listen to this key piece of information. A binge urge typically lasts 15 to 30 minutes before, it peaks, and then it's going to taper off. And the key here is, if you are not resisting it or reacting to it, it will only last about 15 to 30 minutes. The reacting to it is going to hype it up. It's going to feed it. It's going to fuel it, and then it could go all day. So if you let it be and not react, 15 to 30 minutes, guys, and that terrorizing, really uncomfortable experience could be over. You could be through it. So keep that in mind. That might help you working through this. I know how it feels when you're experiencing. You're like, this is never going to end. When is it going to end? It's going to last forever. I'm never going to feel better. It's not true. It's an emotion just like anything else, and it has a peak, and then it will gradually taper off. Keep track of what helps you be successful and focus on what works. So when we think about not acting on an urge, we need to be realistic, right? Like, we have to expect that the urge will not, we can't expect that the urge will not come up again. We can't expect that this is a one-time deal or it'll just fade away and it won't ever come back. Realistically, it's not going to be easy. Sometimes it may be easy and sometimes it might not be. It might get easier as you go, and it usually does, but there might still be some outliers that feel really uncomfortable. Since you have educated yourself and you now have an intellectual understanding of what's going on, don't be surprised if it's still uncomfortable in taking these steps. You can know what's going on and still experience the sensation that it's discomforting. But feeling uncomfortable and changing a habit is normal. It is so expected. If you're not uncomfortable in changing a habit, you're doing it wrong. Okay? You need to go through the discomfort. It's a part of the process until it becomes comfortable, until the urges dissipate, until you don't experience that hype around it anymore. So be willing to go through it. Expect it. Understand that this is what comes with choosing recovery. And I'm stronger than I think I am, and I know it's not going to last forever. So we're looking at contrasting the difference between the discomfort when you choose to act on the urge, like the post-binge discomfort, all those things that we've talked about, and the discomfort in not acting, right? We have the discomfort of the post-binge, and we have the discomfort of sitting with the urge and riding it out. When you choose not to act on it, it will feel uncomfortable, but it won't last forever. I know it's going to take some time for you to trust that and experience it, but the act of binging is actually more uncomfortable in the long run. And that's why you're here. And you know that. That is not a surprise. But you need to remind yourself of it. That's where our leverage comes into play. You know the pain of binge eating, the after, all of the stuff that you're going to have to pay back, paying those dues because of the action that you chose. So this might be challenging. It's a new skill. You're changing a habit. Your brain is getting out of its comfort zone. It's going against everything that the brain naturally wants to do. Against everything, the brain is seeking pleasure, it wants to avoid pain, and it certainly doesn't want to take the harder route. It wants to take the easier route. And we're going against all of those in recovery. You will not always be perfect as you practice this. That's okay. That's expected, and that is okay. Give yourself permission to mess up. Give yourself permission to make mistakes, because you will, and that's okay. You will have fallbacks, but you will also get back up. Your fallbacks can even rubber band you and spring you forward even further than you thought. So everyone recovers on their own time. Keep putting in the work. Keep showing up. Keep looking at every opportunity to just take one more step in front of you. I'm going to end this video here. Tomorrow's video, we are just talking about getting excited. It's again that reward, celebratory feeling about getting through an urge and what recovery is going to feel like food freedom. What is that going to feel like? Get yourself excited. Create that desire, that pleasure, so you can actually feel it and allow it to pull you forward towards your future. Have an amazing day, warrior. You still have a few days to take advantage of the $300 off the Warrior Evolution 6-month program. Come join the group. We actually have a lot of fun, and even though it's hard work, we really enjoy ourselves. So excited to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.